guys, this is your warning. We do post up spoilers. At times we're relatively offensive. We use vulgar language. So if you think that any of those are gonna offend you in any way, shape, or form, take your step back right now. Because, buddy, this is not the place for you. Anywho, have fun listening to us. And yeah, this has been your final warning.
Hey, and welcome to another episode of Cinematic Anarchy. And with me today, joining me today, sitting over here today, well, over there today, talking with me today, is Piper. Hi, Piper.
It's Piper, Davita Aaron. Hi.
And we are going to attempt to talk about Ruthless People. Ruthless People?
Ruthless People.
Okay. We're going to attempt to talk about Ruthless People. I am nursing an ear infection, so it's one of those things.
Oh, come on. Say it like you want to say it.
An ear infection.
There you go.
The inflection of the infection really sucks, and I want to go to the doctor and take care of it. Get some medication. Hurts.
Them good meds, because I'll say the worst pains people seem to get is like when it's in the ear or the mouth, like a toothache.
Well, if I start doing the 90-year-old guy thing where I'm like, hi, what? Excuse me? I can't hear you. Whatever, you're saying something into this ear, and it's only got about 75% capacity.
And that's when I had to yell like Chris Tucker, can you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
And for a moment there, I couldn't.
I know.
We had an audio cutout, and you probably couldn't even tell. Maybe you could. Maybe there's this like click in the middle of everything, and I'm just gonna leave it there. But we had to cut out a whole section where I was just, trying to figure out why I could not hear Piper worth the life of me, and I can't read lips, and I refuse to interpret lip reading that I can't understand. So here we are.
Had to read the lip. You can't read lipses.
No, I can't read the lipsis. I apologize.
I think your equipment got an ear infection all of a sudden. It couldn't hear me.
My equipment? We're not talking about my equipment. We're talking about the speaker.
Oh, my Jesus. By the gods.
Yeah, I've got issues. Anyway, we are going to be talking about a favorite of mine. I haven't seen this in a long while, so I'm glad to have had an excuse to bring up this little Danny DeVito fucking gem. Ruthless People, starring Danny DeVito, Judge Reinhold, Helen Slater, Bill Pullman, and Bette Midler. Why did I leave Bette Midler for last? Like, she was the most important part.
Well, let's also face it that when they were doing the credits, it said, and Bette Midler as Barbara Stone.
Right, so it is like and Bette Midler, and then there's somebody else that I'm forgetting. That other woman, but I don't recognize her.
Anita Morris.
Anita Morris.
Yes.
It's like I didn't recognize her right off the bat. Like I've seen her in a lot of things, but it's not somebody whose name I ever committed to memory.
That's the only. I think that's the only thing I might have actually seen her in, unless I saw her in passing in something else.
Oh, I'm sure.
The only reason I know her name is because I got her pulled up.
Okay. Well, I've seen a couple of movies with her in it. I've definitely seen 18 Again. I've seen Blue City. There's a few movies. Smoky Mountain Christmas.
She was alive from... Hey, oh my God, she played the witch. That's the movie I'm telling you about with Dolly Parton.
It's like now you're like, I don't think I've seen anything else with her in it. And then I say Smoky Mountain Christmas, and you're like, fuck, I know that one.
Well, in fairness, she did die in 1994.
Okay, well, that is fair. Like, she was grandma level when this movie came out, so...
Yeah, she was kind of a gilf.
I'm not gonna go for I'll give Gil grandma I'd like. I'm not going to add the F in there. Sorry.
In fairness, at her age, she was a beautiful woman. She was still a beautiful woman.
Yeah, for 90-something years old. How old was she when she passed? Yeah, I'm saying 90-something years old, and I'm...
Well, she was born in 1943, died in 1994.
My mistake.
So that was like 51?
51, yeah, I was going to say 51. She was only 51. I said grandma, and I'm like 51. Well, I guess most people now, grandmas at some time.
Most people are like grandma, but like a lot of people are but grandma like by 40.
There are some great grandmas at 51 around here, depending upon which state you live in.
I mean, in Georgia, we have great grandmas sometimes by like 49.
It's a little disturbing when you have some, like, 5-year-old kid running up to great grandma on the playground, and great grandma's like 40. What went on in this family? How did that happen?
That great grandmother gets around better than I do.
I think math wise that doesn't work. That's really 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 rapey. But we'll just leave it be.
Is it math not mathing?
No. I mean, just you got to think of your 40-year-old great grandma. I mean, grandma, yes. But 40-year-old great grandma, you're gonna have to, like, if grandma was 13 years old, and then had a baby, and then we had
that baby had a baby at 13.
Baby had a baby at 13. That's 26 years old. 26-year-old grandma, and then at 36 years old, then that baby had. So if they got into a ritual of
that. She'd have been a great grandmother by 39.
Oh, good Lord. Teach your kids better. 13 years old. What are you doing, great grandma? Stop it. But that also means that she would have a potential at around, what? Is that 60?
That was 39.
It'd be like 61. No, 39 would be great grandma. No, that'd be 51.
The next one would be like, what, 51?
52?
Yeah. She'd 52? Be a great grandmother.
Great grandma. She could be a great grandma. Stop it. No more 13-year-old pregnancies. We don't need that. I don't care what your family line is like. Just stop.
Well, I mean, if you look at the old days, like the Renaissance age and everything, I mean, if you're 13 and not married, you're pretty much like an old maid.
Yeah. Yeah, but we've gotten away from that. We've evolved over the past 100 years or so, haven't we?
I mean, most of us have.
I'm hoping, anyway.
There's a reason that Teen Mom is a channel on MTV.
You have to bring that up. That's horrible.
Hey, we're just speaking facts.
I'm just trying to figure out why that is a for your entertainment kind of thing. Like, what is entertainment about that other than turning on the TV to go, fuck, I am so glad that's not me.
I mean, hell, I'm 36 and I'm glad I don't have any. I mean, granted, my fiance has one and I love him dearly. But, like, I'm just glad I don't have any of my own because stepmom always told me, yours will be 10 times worse than you were. And I'm just like, oh, fuck, I can't deal with that. I'd be like Kyle and kick a baby through a window.
Nope, I was the low end of the totem pole for my family, so my kids are better than I am. Yeah, that's what we want to say. All
right, Ruthless People.
Ruthless People. We didn't even segue back into that. It's just like, U-turn.
Did you just do a Yui?
Yui, yes, I did. U-turn. Okay, Ruthless People sees Sam Stone, played by Danny DeVito. He hates his wife, Barbara, played by Bette Midler, so much that he wants her dead. He's ecstatic when she's taken by a duo of kidnappers, played by Judge Reinhold and Helen Slater, who want $500,000 ransom in exchange for her life. Fully intending to ignore every one of the kidnappers' demands in the hope that they do him a favor and murder her for him, the two confused kidnappers have to figure out how they're going to get their money and what they're going to do with the overbearing Barbara. So, that's our setup. What did you think of the movie?
Well, I mean, to go with our setup, I mean, there's a reason why they kidnapped her. Because Sam Stone stole the idea of the wife for the spandex miniskirt.
Yes, he is the spandex miniskirt king.
Stole their idea. Yeah.
And made millions off of it.
But, right, well, they weren't getting anything. That's why they kidnapped Barbara.
Sorry, first of all, Danny DeVito is the spandex miniskirt king. Are you not picturing, like, in his private time, he's just wandering around in nothing but a spandex miniskirt? Shirtless and everything, Danny DeVito.
Oh, no? God. I mean, I'm picturing it now. But I did think it was a weird title, like Spandex Miniskirt King.
Hey, I mean, if you got to be the king,
title.
If you got to be the king of something in the 80s, spandex miniskirts, that's a big one. Because those were all the rage back then. That's like the tube top for your cooch, I'm telling you.
Oh, God.
No.
Tube top for your cooch. Here, I thought that was called a thong.
No, that's not. No, that's a completely different thing. I don't know what the bra equivalent of a thong would be, but tube top for your cooch. I'll stick with that.
No? Coochie equivalent of the bra.
What is the coochie equivalent of the bra? What do you think?
I don't want to know what needs to be supported that much down there.
I think that the coochie equivalent of the bra would be like the cupless bra.
Would that be like the...
No, that's crotchless panties. That's a different thing. Okay.
Oh, cupless... Well, you mean the bras without underwire?
Right. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think. Now you got me thinking. What would be the bra equivalent of a thong? It would be those... You know what it would be? It would be those bikinis that barely cover anything but the nipples. The bikini tops. It just covers the nipples. It's like
those little triangles?
Yeah, those little triangles. That's it.
Like, it covers maybe like a third of the areola. It just barely covers the nipples.
Right. And if you are one of those people that have a little extra areola going on there, well, those are just you can't hide much.
You have areola 51 going on.
No, it's cold water. You can see the nipples, the sauce. How did we get into this? Oh, Spandex Mini King. Yes. Spandex Mini King. What? Oh, jeez. Mini King.
Spandex Mini King.
Pardon my little slip of the tongue.
I think it happens often, but it's okay.
Oh, it happens frequently. Remember, Will Smith, Will Ferrell. You got to go back a few episodes for that, though. Oh
yeah. I remember.
Yeah, there was a whole episode. We're supposed to be praising Will Smith, and I kept talking about Will Ferrell. And
well, you do like Will Ferrell.
Well, I like them both. But it bothered Nico because she thinks Will Ferrell has a punchable face. But that's like on a list of like 5 million.
I agree with Miss Honeybee.
Yeah, he is.
So much I rhymed.
His punchable face is the whole reason why he's a fantastic comedian. It is that brashness that makes him the comedian that he is.
His punchable face is the equivalent of you wanting to kill Michael Cera and everything.
Look, if you could take that kind of punchable face and turn it into a multi-million-dollar enterprise, could be a world-famous comedian, wouldn't you just roll with it, punchable face or not?
I mean, I wish I could take my face, punchable or not. It's probably pretty punchable, but at least my mouth is. But, I wish I could take it and make millions off of it. I'm a struggling actress over here.
I mean, you could be the average guy with a punchable face. Just some rando. I'll take the Will Ferrell punchable face any day.
I mean, hell, Owen Wilson made, millions with his nose and never got it, worked on. And he's it's part of who he is.
And so does Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Okay, her nose is not that bad.
Come on, you've seen the nose.
Oh, I've seen her nose where it kind of it's got devil horns.
She's absolutely gorgeous, but he has it for a different reason. She was born with it. He has it for a different reason. Somebody broke his nose, and he's like, you know what? Let's just leave it like that. I believe so. I believe that was the. I'd have to look it up, but I believe that was the thing.
I think Sarah Michelle Gellar was in a Maybelline commercial at one point, and the simple fact that you said she was born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline.
Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's Sarah Michelle Gellar. Gellar? I don't know.
Are you going Team America on me?
I have no idea. Please excuse anything that I say. I'm a little loopy. All right, okay.
So what did I think about Ruthless People?
Yes.
I loved it. I love me some Bette Midler. She's just one of those people, I can never picture her as a helpless person. And even being kidnapped, she was giving bloody noses left and right to Judge Reno.
Man, she was running an entire CrossFit camp tethered to a bed in their basement.
I know, she was using the fucking chain as a jump rope.
Now here's the thing. Okay, we as a podcast always just jump around. We have moments that we remember, and we rarely ever just walk through it. And I'm going to start that whole jumping around shit by saying, how the fuck did she lose 20 pounds in such a short time being chained in their basement?
Let's also not forget the fact that she was barely eating.
I mean, that's fair. So
she was barely eating and doing a lot of cardio, and then some strength training, but mostly cardio.
I don't think they ever explained how many days she was in the basement. Because as far as I'm concerned, it looked like maybe 2 to 3 days.
At least a couple of weeks. Well, it's Thursday next week, Wednesday next week, Thursday tomorrow. Tomorrow came, and then they're Wednesday. So she was there for at least a week or so.
We'll give you to the 31st of January. We really are going to try to kill her, maybe, sort of. We murder, death, kill, stab.
The only reason she didn't get out of that house at one point is because a gun fell on her toe.
Point
The
blank
lighter
gun to the face. Yeah, that'd do it. Yep.
But I mean, let's also look at the fact that she's that type of woman who can rage, it seems, with never losing her voice.
Bette
But
Midler.
keeps it in a way where it's always funny.
Okay, so bear with me. I loved the movie. Bette Midler and Danny DeVito were perfectly cast for the roles that they were in. However,
Very true.
Judge Reinhold and Helen Slater, I feel were interchangeable. Like, they could have been pulled out and somebody else could have been slipped in to kind of play them.
I mean, I agree. I mean, especially Helen Slater. I mean, I love her. She's a good actress. But, like, the character she played could have been played by any woman who had a meek demeanor.
Right. There's a lot of people that could have...
Judge Reinhold...
I think Judge Reinhold probably would have been a lock in that position, too, really.
I mean, I like... He has a delivery that only he can give.
Okay, that's fair. I don't think we see enough of Judge Reinhold. He hasn't been around in a while. I haven't seen him in a lot.
I think last time I saw him, I think he might have been in the Santa Clauses.
I'd also like to meet his parents and ask, Judge, really? It works for him, don't get me wrong, but, like, you see Judge Reinhold and the first thing in your mind was, which district court?
I won't lie. Very first time someone talked about him, I was like, where does he sit? Like, where's his bench?
Yeah, I mean...
And they were like, no, he's an actor. Like, a judge who's an actor? Really? It's like, is he in one of those court TVs?
It's one of those things that I had to process, because I watched a few of his movies when I was a kid, but, like, Judge Reinhold, I always held in the same vein. Mind you, I watched wrestling, so I was like, is this like some guy's, like, wrestling stage name that he just decided to take? I can't picture Judge Reinhold as a wrestler at all, by the way. You know, maybe one of those guys that just, you know, got paid to take a beating for a living in the 80s in WWE, but...
You ever notice he plays the same type of character in almost everything he's in, or at least everything I've seen him in? Like, the Santa Claus movies, like, he's always, like, some type of uptight guy who's in a sweater vest or sweater something.
The Santa Claus movies. I forgot he was the psychiatrist in the Santa Claus movies. That ended up being just, like, this kid with, like, childish wonder in his eyes.
He wanted a weenie whistle.
Can we talk about Bill Pullman, the man-ho? And those the frosted hair, the bleach blonde surfer dude hair.
The very first thing I ever saw him in was Casper. He was playing a dad. And then the next thing I saw him in was probably this.
You didn't see him in Independence Day?
I don't remember him in it's been a long time since I've seen Independence Day. I know he was in it.
He was the president.
I don't even remember all of Will Smith's parts in Independence Day. It's been that long since I've seen it. I haven't seen it since I was a kid, and it came out in what, 93?
It's been a while, yes, but still, Bill Pullman was like the man in that movie.
In like, what, 30 years?
Please tell me you've seen Spaceballs.
Oh, wait, yeah, of course I've seen that.
Okay. So you at least remember him in Spaceballs, Lone Star?
Yes, but I was going specifically, I saw him in Casper, then I saw him in Ruthless People.
Do you remember him in Lake Placid? Have you seen Lake Placid?
I remember it vaguely. It's been a long time. I think I remember Betty White hanging her feet off at the end of the movie.
Betty White, I think Betty White was the only thing that I remember from that movie. I remember one particular line from that film, and it was her, because all I could remember her from at that point was the fucking Golden Girls. And to see her deliver the line, if I were a guy, this is about the point that I would tell you to suck my dick. To hear her say those words was the best.
I know we're going off topic here, but Betty White used to talk about how she would cry after some scenes of stuff because how vulgar they kind of wanted her to be. Like, I think even on Golden Girls, like, that's not the type of, like, personality she has, but that's how they wanted her to play. So she'd play it, but sometimes she would cry, depending on how severe she's supposed to go. And even though she's supposed to play an airhead saying these things, she was like, you know, she understands it even though her character didn't.
I mean, she really leaned into it in later years, though. I mean, really leaned into it.
I mean, look at the proposals.
Just seriously.
Her with Sandra Bullock, just watching Sandra Bullock singing from the window to the wall, sweat dripped down my balls.
Right. Yeah, I mixed up that scene in my head too. I thought like she was dancing naked around the fire, and I was nope, that wasn't that scene. It was the scene afterwards where her and Ryan Reynolds run like full force into each other, just looking like both of them have been greased up and wet. Just
well, she was wet from the shower. He was wet from sweating.
yes.
But they did look like they were oiled up, ready to go wrestling.
And then they slammed into each other, and she was wet again. Anyway,
I mean, I would be if I had certain parts.
Look, I don't have a bone in my body that likes the same sex, but even Ryan Reynolds makes things twitch a little bit.
Hey, maybe you know what? That's just male appreciation.
I said I don't, and then I just said I did. So
you know what they say everybody's at least a little bit bi, and it's like, and I have a reason for this. If you want to cut this out, that's fine.
You can
but
say.
They say when men watching porn, you ask them if they care about the dick size or not. They'd all rather see a bigger one going inside of a woman.
Yeah.
So it's like everybody is a little bit bi in some way, shape, or form.
I mean, in some ways, I think it's more of the guy in the back of their head going, what if I was that guy? You know, it's living vicariously through somebody else because, you know.
Yeah.
A lot of guys got that pinky winky, you know. And they're all like, if only I could do that. Where are the pills and the pump and all the other things?
And then they should watch more porn because I've seen guys with pinky winkies do some things and those women are acting their hearts out.
Right.
You would think they were getting paid Angelina Jolie status money.
Everybody's over there riding the bird in the fluffy nest. Look at that. It looks like a robin's egg in a nest. You know? And they're riding that like it was the, you know.
You know what? I
don't have any other words for it.
Back into Ruthless People. I could segue this back into Ruthless People.
Yeah, go ahead.
The police commissioner getting caught on camera with his hooker.
You know, that was beautiful. I love that misunderstanding between the police chief and Carol in the film, where she had sent him this video that she refused to watch because she thought it was too gruesome. You know, if you had watched it all the way through, hun, you would know what you sent off to him. So he thinks that he's being basically blackmailed for a sex video that they made of him. And Bill Pullman is too stupid to understand the difference between screaming sex and somebody being murdered.
In fairness, that bitch was not screaming sex. She was just screaming.
Well, I mean, it's because that's how the police chief said he likes it. She wanted her to scream bloody murder.
But if your eyes were closed, well, here's something I gotta ask. That thing was catching all that audio from that bitch screaming. How did not hear him saying, oh God, he's gonna kill her right there? And like the puking noises and all that.
I think that he was using things from a distance, because wasn't he using like one of those microphones that'll pick up sound from a distance? Like he was trying to stay in the shrubs and out of the way? Yeah,
I just don't... How primitive that stuff looked on him, because it looked like he had a microphone and everything right here with a tape recorder.
I mean, it's not like this is the 80s. It's not like you had a GoPro. He had like a full-on like massive camcorder device, like one of those things that you'd have to shoulder. How do you not see all that?
That's what I'm saying. Like, how did it not pick him up saying like, oh God, he's going to kill her right here?
Like, why wasn't he in like one of those like hunting blinds, like kind of hidden behind something with like just the camera lens poking out? I don't get that whole setup at all. Like, he was in a clearing. Like, he was just standing on a hill in a clearing looking right at them.
I mean, and the commissioner a few times when he was looking out the window over the woman's like hilly titty pointy nipple, like looked like he was looking at the camera a couple of times.
Right, there should have been like a cut. There should have been a scene like somewhere in there where she's just screaming, ah, 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 and then she recognizes him up on the hill. Who's that? He's like, that's the camera crew. We're just taking video. Don't worry about him. Look away. Keep screaming this way. I brought my own camera crew.
Movie.
You'd have to explain it away. I was stupid for the longest time. I thought Helen Slater and Christian Slater were related. They're not.
They're not?
No, I thought they were, but they're not. Like, because I saw Helen Slater, one of my favorite movies of hers is The Legend of Billie Jean. And so for the longest time, I'm like, oh, yeah. They've got to be related. And I'm like, no, they're not related at all. She's related to somebody named David Slater, who I don't even recognize. Like, he's in a couple of, like, random movies from the middle of nowhere. And, well, maybe not all random. There's a couple that are kind of well-known, blank, untraceable, stuff like that. But he's only done stuff, like, recently. Yeah.
Well, hell, I didn't know that Helen Slater was actually in Supergirl. Like,
Helen Slater's not in Supergirl. She was Supergirl.
Well, it also makes sense now while she was in Smallville.
Right.
Because they try to get a lot of the original actors from the original movie series and such to at least cameo and shit.
Here's the problem that I have with Smallville, so bear with me just a moment. If you've watched Smallville, they were notorious for bringing characters from other Superman products into the film. And one of the most egregious ones, one of the ones that bothered me the most, is the mom. The woman who plays his mom in the film is the woman that he first fell in love with, that Superman first fell in love with in high school.
She played Lana Lang in the third one.
In the original film.
Yeah.
There was a whole scene where he's like,
the third film.
I thought it was the first one, where he was like on the football field and they were explaining like part of his backstory, and he was in love with her.
We're talking about the actual movies, right?
Yeah, the ones with Christopher Reeve.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and say I've not seen a single one of those.
You've not seen the?
I just know that she played I just know that Annette O'Toole played Lana Lang in one of the original movies.
Christopher Reeve. There's a reason why the bar was set by him as Superman, because Christopher Reeve was one of those guys. He stepped into the role of Superman, and forever after that, he was Superman. No matter what else he was in, he was Superman. Oh, look, Superman's in this movie. He couldn't get away from it.
Well, I mean, let's also not discount the fact that the original person who played Jor-El had it in his contract when nobody else could be the face of Jor-El. So that's why you only heard his voice, Emmett Jor-El's voice, in all other things.
Oh my God, now I'm gonna... See, you made me pause to Google things. Why would you do that?
I mean, you don't have to pause. Who played Jor-El?
I'm not pausing anything. I'm just saying, it was what's his name in the early movies? Marlon Brando. But, it was Marlon Brando's face, but Terrence Stamp, if I'm not mistaken. No, Marlon Brando.
Terrence Stamp was the voice of... Stamp was the voice of Jor-El in Smallville.
Yeah. Yes, that is correct.
But you never saw his face.
I thought there was and I may find this out a little later, because I'm not going to just sit here and try to figure out the whole fucking thing. Well, Terrence Stamp was the voice in Smallville, but later on in the show, Julian Sands was actually Jor-El.
Which means that there might have been a time during Smallville that contract ran out.
Possibly. Because that's why you only heard Terrence Stamp's voice, because Marlon Brando was the only one that could be the face for the longest time.
Yeah.
How did we get from Ruthless People over here? It's Helen Slater. Oh, that's right. Helen Slater led us down the rabbit hole.
Are you still paused?
No.
But yeah, that's how we got there, Helen Slater. But, I mean, one thing I do love about this movie is almost the whole triple cross thing. You got these two people who kidnapped Barbara trying to cross Danny DeVito, and then you got Danny DeVito's mistress trying to cross Danny DeVito to get the money with Earl.
Earl is just there. No matter, even though he's going along with the scheme, Earl is just there. He is pretty window dressing. That's at her side. She's like, you do this for me. Okay, I will do that because I like doing things with you. And he goes off and does whatever he does. And then he comes back. Oh my God, he killed her. No, they were fucking. What's wrong with you? She's still alive. And so, yeah, and it wasn't even her. It was somebody else.
Yeah.
Right? So it's you didn't even know who he was having sex with. You just sent me a video of him having sex with some random woman and her screaming obscenely loud.
She didn't watch that. She just heard the screaming. It was oh, I can't do this.
I can't do this. This is too horrible. The first clue should have been, breasts are out, hun. That's not what you're watching. He didn't, strip her and have sex with her to death.
He didn't want to have sex with her no more.
Did you see him brandish a weapon? No, I couldn't watch. I just sent it. What is wrong with you? I don't understand you. And so then, on top of that, you have Danny DeVito, who's decided to double-cross everybody. Basically, he's just the ultimate slime in this movie, because he just wants his stuff. He thinks he's going to get with Carol, and then he's going to live off of Barbara's money.
Funny thing is, this woman, Janine Bisignano, she's actually credited as just hooker in car.
Hooker in car. Well, they didn't give her a name. She was a hooker in the car.
I'm just laughing. I know, but it's just funny. Hooker in car.
I think it would have been better as screaming hooker. Person not murdered. Something to that nature, you know?
Person not murdered.
Person not murdered. Because the entire movie they think that she's dead, but she's not dead. I don't know.
She might have the biggest role in this movie.
Person not murdered? For somebody that had so many lines to have practically no name in this movie.
Well, her lines are all screaming.
I mean, yes, her line was basically,
and a lot of the story though does revolve around her being on this tape.
Well, almost all of the movie revolves around her and the mistake that Carol makes regarding, and a lot of the interactions with the police and Stone end up being because of that.
Oh my God, Danny DeVito. Like, we have a puppy here now, and I wish it were a poodle just so I could sit there and yell at it. It's like, stop playing your fucking poodle bombs.
Right. And, oh, yes, the entire film, not only does he want her dead, but he wants to kill her poodle. Wants to kill her poodle.
That's the last time you pissed on my carpet.
Right. Now, there's a lot of reasons why this movie could not be made right now. One of them being Danny DeVito trying to chloroform a poodle. Like, even the act of trying to chloroform the poodle or running around and trying to shoot the dog. Like, I thought he actually tried to kill the dog, like shoot the dog right there. And
I thought he did, and he missed.
Well, no, I'm saying he tried, but they did it with an entire house full of cops who are investigating the kidnapping of his wife. They all thought he killed himself.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, did he just...
Like...
It slipped and went off several times.
I love Danny DeVito. Like, he is such an amazing actor. Like, as a person actor, also as a character actor.
He plays the perfect slime ball. He really does.
Yeah, I mean, look at him as the Penguin in Batman Returns. Look at him as the dad in Matilda.
The dad, and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah,
there we go. We were just saying the same thing.
But also when he's like, character actor or voice actor. I mean, him as Phil in Hercules.
Okay, you said character actor, voice actor, and I'm thinking to myself, are there any other real things that you can think of that Danny DeVito voiced over?
No.
I'm trying to think. I don't know that Danny DeVito did anything else other than that one role in... I mean, I liked him in both of the movies that he did with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Twins is the one that everybody loved, but the one that some people don't like all that much, Junior, where he plays alongside of pregnant Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I love Junior.
Throw Mama from the Train.
Romancing the Stone, Jewel of the Nile.
War of the Roses. I mean, he even played kind of a slime ball in Mars Attacks. Everything that he's done, he plays a slime ball to one degree or another.
In Mars Attacks.
Yeah, he is. You forgot?
There was one thing that he did as voice actor that he was not a slime ball.
What's that?
He was the voice of the Lorax in the Lorax.
One other voiceover where he technically wasn't a slime ball. The worst, the third installment of Look Who's Talking. Look Who's Talking Now, where the dogs talked.
I haven't seen that. It's amazing how long him and his wife have been together, Rhea Perlman.
I thought they had divorced.
They separated in 2017, but still, from 1982 to 2017.
Are they still married? I mean, technically, they're still together, right?
Technically, they're still married. Let's see. They separated for a second time in March 2017, but remained on amicable terms, and Perlman stated they had no intent of filing for divorce. 2019, she told interviewer Andy Cohen that she and DeVito had become closer friends after their separation than they were in their final years as a couple.
Okay.
So they have not officially divorced.
It's like, we don't plan on divorcing. We're not going to make it official, but like, I can't stand him in my space, and he can't stand me he can't stand me in his space. So we're just going to stay in separate houses.
Maybe she has the big house and he has like the little guest house to her mansion.
I wonder what they would stand to lose if they got divorced, outside of the fact that they're both like, hitting that 80-year-old mark.
Well, it's like, if I had to guess, I mean, I think she's a great actress, but I think he's done more. So he's probably got more money than she does. Then again, recently she was in Barbie.
Okay. That's right. She was the founder, so to speak, of Barbie before it became like an all-male panel of people. Like, I am the woman behind all these men. I am the reason, Just this woman hidden away.
Were not for me.
She had her own Barbie dream room just somewhere in the fucking... Not a house, just a room.
Literally.
It was just in the middle of the place. She was just running through and... Oh boy. Everybody's talking about that movie now, too, but for the wrong reason. The wrong reason altogether.
I love that movie.
Well, I guess Margot Robbie got a snub for the Oscar.
Margot Robbie, yeah.
Robbie, Robot, to the robot.
I mean, but who won that Oscar for that category?
Well, no, she got snubbed. Like, she wasn't even nominated. Oh. However, what's his name? Ryan Gosling was nominated for his role as Ken. I don't know.
No offense to Margot Robbie, because I think she's amazing, but I think her acting chops for like most of her other stuff is more ranged than what she had to play as Barbie.
I think that the reason people are pissed off, or a certain section of people are pissed off, is because the film, and I'm stepping on some toes here by even mentioning it, and I'm not saying it's right, I'm not saying it's wrong, but I think it's because of the fact that it was a feminist movie made by women that is supposed to be empowering to women, and was starring an almost all-female cast, and the fact that Greta Gerwig and Margot Robbie,
Yeah.
they didn't get nominated in their respective categories, right, for directing, screenplay, and or Best Actress, but Ryan Gosling got nominated for Best Actor as Ken. I think that's where people were throwing up their arms like, why?
I mean, yeah, I can understand that from a certain standpoint. I was like, but there's some things I had to question with the Barbie movie anyway.
Well, we can approach that someday when we do Barbie.
Okay, I'm here. Let's do Barbie. I'm here for it. But
I think we should have a Barbenheimer episode.
I haven't watched Open. She came behind.
Oppenboober, Boob Oppenheimer,
something hype, whatever.
Schumpenhyper.
Yes, something. Looking to remind me.
Barfignugan. Anyway.
I don't know. Is that a food?
No, I think that was like a Volkswagen thing for a while. It was like part of one of their commercials. Farfignugan. What the fuck does that mean? That sounds like they're saying the Fig Newtons are too far away. Farfig Newton. Bring it here. It's too far away. Farfig Newton. Oh my god.
So far.
So, oh yeah, anyway, Ruthless People. Ruthless People. We're not good at segueing back in from our little ADHD rants. We're not good at that at all.
I think the only time we were able to do that is when we went from talking to porn, talking about the hooker in car. I'm sorry, the person not murdered.
Hooker in car, screaming hooker, yelling person who didn't die. I like that better. No more hooker in car. Let's just call her person.
You know what? We can call her the bitch who lived.
The bitch who lived. The bitch who lived. Okay. That's an even more glorious title. The bitch who lived. That's like an entire movie.
I would take that title.
Let's make an entire movie.
The boy who lived. So I'm like the bitch who lived.
We need to make an entire movie about ruthless people from the perspective of the bitch who lived.
Yes.
Okay, favorite moments in the movie. Top 3 favorite moments. Go.
Top 3 favorite moments.
Top 3.
Well, it has to be the scene where you actually see Judge and Helen trying to take Bet into the house.
Okay.
She's just fighting and kicking and all this other
It's
shit.
like kicking in the potato sack. And I woke up in a bag.
This one's kind of a two-parter. It's like the way Bette Midler delivers lines, like
okay,
no one else could do it but her. The way she does it, it's like I've been abducted by Huey and Dewey. And then later when she's like
Kmart Huey and Dewey,
kidnapped by Kmart. Well, she didn't say Kmart until later.
Okay, that was.
She was like, it was like first she was abducted by Huey and Dewey, and later she said, I was kidnapped by Kmart.
Right. Okay.
The third favorite. Oh God. The time when Bette Midler was trying to do one of those exercises, and it was like, put your leg out and stretch your arm, and then all this other shit, and then she starts stretching, and then she falls.
Okay. My favorite scene in the movie is the whole standoff scene, where it starts with him and Judge Reinhold, like he has a bozo wig on or whatever in the nose, and he passes on the money to Judge Reinhold, finally lets it go, and then Bill Pullman pulls up for no fucking reason, holding a gun to him, and holding a gun to Danny DeVito, who's now been, I think at this point the money's been taken from him.
Yeah, so he's holding it to Judge Reinhold.
Right. And he's just holding the gun to him, and then the cops start talking through the bullhorn, and he's looking around like, is that God? Who said that? Just this confused look on his face, like, Jesus, are you speaking to me? Am I the new apostle? Who said that?
Or when he has the money and, like, his tire gets shot, and he's like, how'd you do that? You don't have a gun. Well, you got me.
Well, yeah, I mean, don't pay no attention to the sniper on the roof. That was me. I did it with my mind. My second favorite scene was directly after that with Judge Reinhold, and they're all tailing him in the car. Like the lowest speed chase ever. Because they're not going very fast.
This is a red light.
It's not a high-speed chase through the streets because he's being so careful because because the entire movie was based on or predicated on them being this kind of nervous, I'm doing this because this is the right thing to do, but I'm also really nervous about doing this because we don't normally do crimes.
The fact that they even stopped at a red light.
This would be like Kitty from fucking That 70s Show trying to commit a crime. Kitty, the mom from That 70s Show.
Oh.
Exactly. You just did the laugh.
I know, because that's the only thing I really know from her.
You put her in like Yeardley Smith. I could see actually committing a crime. I've seen a few.
Who the hell is Yeardley Smith?
Well, first of all, the voice of Lisa Simpson is Yeardley Smith, but she was in a couple of movies like early in her career. One of which stands out in my mind, where she was the insanely nagging newlywed wife to this guy in this movie, Maximum Overdrive. Like, just constantly bitching and complaining the entire time. That girl.
She's probably bitching and complaining because she was in that movie.
Right, and the only reason I can watch it now, I can watch that movie. I love the movie. Don't get that. If you could take her out of it, I would be perfectly fine. But the only reason I can watch it now is I just picture her being married off to this guy as Lisa Simpson. Like later, this is what happened to Lisa Simpson later on in life. She got married to that's why she married like Milhouse's cousin just to piss off Milhouse because Milhouse has always had a crush on her, and he just married who it turns out is the guy. The guy that's like the popcorn guy or whatever, the kid, the pizza-faced kid, like in every scene where he always plays like he was either the movie house vendor, the guy, or the usher. He always had like little roles in the background. Never mind. Do you watch a lot of Simpsons?
No.
No. Okay. Then I'm trying to explain something to you that you probably don't even know what I'm talking about.
I know most of the main characters and most of the main supporting characters. That's about it.
Okay, I'll send you pictures of these two later, and you know who Lisa Simpson is. I'll send you a picture of him, and you can tell me if I match that up to the newlywed couple in Maximum Overdrive, if that goes. So that's my second favorite scene. All my favorite scenes are at the end of the movie.
Probably Maximum Overdrive is probably why she ended up doing The Simpsons and got better.
All of my favorite scenes are at the very end of this fucking movie, by the way. Like, not that I didn't like the rest of the movie, but all my favorite scenes happened at the end. It was all the...
It's like, fuck everything before that standoff.
Right. The last scene that I absolutely loved was that smile, the bit of relief that Sam Stone gets after he thinks his wife is dead. This guy is driven off, and yes, his money might be in the water, but this guy is dead. He's gotten rid of everything. His wife isn't around anymore. And then, lo and behold, Bette Midler comes up behind him, opens her mouth, and his face just drains. Like, oh, fuck. Then he turns around and sees his wife, who was playing, I guess, fat at the beginning of the movie. And he's like, oh my God, you look amazing. You look like you've lost 20 pounds.
My question is, how could you tell in that oversized sweater? I mean, I get it. It's the 80s.
I think they just stuffed everything. Like, they just made her wear, like, baggy clothes and made her kind of look frumpy. And then...
Well, she was wearing a baggy sweater at the end.
Right, but still, she was wearing a more forms-fitting baggy sweater. Like, it was hanging more loosely off of her. Like, I don't know if you watch old, like, Hans and Franz from SNL. We're here to pump you up. You know, those guys. But they were wearing, like, those blow-up bodysuits underneath to make her look a little bigger, you know, and I have no idea. But those are my favorite scenes, all that stuff at the end of the movie. Is there anything that you did not particularly like? Like, something you thought they could have done better?
There's things that I just thought they could have done without.
Could have done without? Okay. I think there's one thing they could have done with. But you go on.
The whole, like, the guy who wants speakers, and then he stops trying to sell him the big speakers because he sees he's got a pregnant girlfriend, wife, whatever. It's like, the scene just did not tie in with everything for me.
It does, in a way. It kind of sells the kind of person he is. Like, he's, like, kind of off the rails trying to be the badass. Like, you just got to be ruthless. You got to be ruthless. And he's trying to sell this guy like the most expensive system. And then his pregnant wife comes in, and he's like, you know what? He's a good guy, and I'm not gonna be the asshole that ties you down to something that costs as much as a car. So why don't we go find you something more within your price range, because you're trying to raise a family here. So it shows him trying to be a good guy.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
I personally think that I could have used a little bit more on the couple. All we get initially is the couple having kidnapped his wife. So we start from meeting them after the kidnapping. I would have loved, like, during the montage, like the beginning of the movie, instead of getting what we got for that opening, I really think that it would have been fun to do like a montage underneath the credits of them. Like, maybe you could even do it with like news clippings and so on and so forth, where he started his Spandex King empire or whatever, and them going back and forth between, oh my God, he stole my what happened, and we're gonna go and kidnap him, and just sort of like a whole planning montage about them going from he stole what I was doing and all my hard work. You could have added another 20 minutes to the movie, just giving it a little bit more on them.
Well, I mean, heck, they could have done it like they've done some 80s movies, like a cartoon that plays out in the beginning, like with the credits.
Why does that seem to happen a lot with old John Cusack movies? I've noticed that.
Well, I mean, I also saw it in a movie called True Beverly Hills with Shelley Long.
Oh, yeah.
It was a whole cartoon type sequence.
They did like their cartoon sequence openings, didn't they?
Yeah.
But yeah, they could have done that. They could have made a whole cartoon sequence opening that went along with how they got from point A to point B. Because there was no... you're thumping a lot on your end. You keep tapping that microphone. What's wrong?
I try to mute myself when I'm vaping.
Oh, so that's how you have to mute, just tap. But then when you mute yourself, it goes thump.
Apparently there's a thump, and I'm sorry.
Tap, tap, thump, thump. Tap, tap, thump, thump.
It's like, I don't know what's worse. Thump it or just... like I'm Winnie Sanderson sucking the souls out of children.
Right. Sucking children's souls or vape? That's what it... Oh, wow. Flavored children's souls.
Yes, this is how I say
in stick form. Yes, okay. This is like the new Countess Bathory.
Yeah, I don't want to have to kill a lot of virgins.
No, yeah, just suck the souls in vape form out of children. Presented to you in the form of a vape stick.
There's something in the whole, the birthing house. I think that's called a hospital. And it's like they have this machine that just go ahead and sucks the souls out of them. Then they send them home to the parents, all fine. Children are fine. They're just soulless. And then it's like, then I go and pick up the vape juice and...
Now, on a scale from 1 to turning it all the way the fuck up to 11, where do we land on this?
I gave it a solid 8.5.
Okay, now I would rate it two different ways. I would give it, as an 80s movie, it's a solid 9. For as 80s comedies went, this was top tier. This was funny as fucking hell. This is still something that I could laugh about to this day. If we're going overall in the comedy area, though, taking it out of the 80s and pitting it against, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, I guess 2010s now, is that where we're going?
Well, it's one of those things. You have, very different styles of comedy, especially coming up into the 90s and the 2000s.
Well, I'm not sure that I could say, my son down and have him watch this film and have him get all of, first of all, he would not understand why everything Bette Midler wore during that fashion montage scene would have been considered fashion forward in the 80s. Because some of that stuff was wow.
Ugly. Some of that shit was just ugly.
But that was considered fashionable in the 80s, some of that stuff.
I don't give a fuck. She was like a court jester.
Yeah. Or remember, we were talking about that too. She could have played Harley Quinn or something in the 80s. It looked like they were trying to make a Harley Quinn outfit.
It's like she could have been Harley Quinn.
She could have been Harley Quinn or
to a Harley Quinn.
But she looks a little bit more like a Poison Ivy.
Because of her red hair.
She could have been like Poison Ivy in a remake of an old Adam West Batman movie.
She could have been but Poison Ivy had to be extremely angry all the time.
Well, I mean, she is kind of extremely angry all the time because people fuck with plants.
I mean, yeah, but I would, you know what? I would love to see her in her golden years, now she is in her golden years. I mean, in her 80s time and
she's close to her platinum years.
Doing all these roles. She is like 66 now, 67.
I was gonna say Bet's close to her platinum years at this point.
I think Bet's 66 because she was born in 1945. She's getting close to 70. In 2 years, she'll be 70.
That being said,
oh God, Hocus Pocus 3 is coming.
we were saying that Poison Ivy would have to be angry all the time. Do you remember? I guess maybe some people got tainted on Poison Ivy by what she was in like the Harley Quinn cartoon that they have right now. But remember, like early Poison Ivy, she was just sort of fuck you humans. You fucking humans. The plants should rule the earth and fuck you humans. She wasn't seductive like Catwoman.
It's like, well, her main seductiveness was through her costume, not through her action.
Sometimes she tried to be seductive. She'd get you near, but that was only to get to blow the plant pheromones into your face so that she could basically, I want to say hypnotize you, but it was mind control of sorts. So she could get you to do what she wanted you to do. Now jump off a little ledge, human. All right, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to go ahead and try to pitch a current either remake or sequel to this film.
This is Two Chicks Talking Flicks, where we review movies. We try to dig deeper and go more in depth.
And profound for me.
Yeah, for me, I'm just like, what? We even bring up relevant topics.
I remember from Punky Brewster that you don't go inside the fridge.
And we're here to have those tough conversations. Mm-hmm.
And she was wearing a white dress, which
was yellow. Huh? It was yellow. So if this sounds like the podcast for you, please enjoy. New episodes every Tuesday.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Rachel.
And I'm Matt.
We are the hosts of the Strange and Beautiful Book Club. On the Strange and Beautiful Book Club, Matt and I share our adventures discovering forgotten movies, television shows, and books in the science fiction, horror, and fantasy genre.
Not necessarily good movies, though.
Oh, certainly not. We love a good, bad movie. The quirkier, the funnier, the more campy, the better.
But we talk about some classics, too.
Of course, we can't ignore our favorites like Highlander or the 1990s vampire cop television show, Forever Night, which we are currently covering one episode at a time.
As if I could forget.
Oh, hush. You love every minute of it.
Come join us every week as we discover, discuss, and dissect fantasy, horror, and sci-fi genre classics. New episodes release every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
So remember, sometimes the strangest things are the most beautiful, too.
So be who you are and love what you love. Until next time, friends.
Bye!
Gotta love the sponsors, or not the sponsors, but the people responsible for filling in that little moment in the middle of our podcast, who happen to be friends of the podcast, who we still give advertisement room to.
The responsible sponsors.
Yes, the Strange and Beautiful Book Club podcast, and our good friends over at Two Chicks Talking Flicks. Yeah, I love working with both of them. We have to have them both on at the same time at some point. That would be really fun. Two chicks talking strange and beautiful books.
I'd love to meet the Two Chicks Talking Flicks.
Right? Well, I've only physically had podcast time with Sarah. So one.
I've never even talked to Sarah.
I recommend listening to their podcast. They are fun to listen to. And I was invited on recently to do a podcast with her, which felt a lot like our podcast. It ended up being sort of a meandering rant about several different movies. So, which was by design. It was a game that she had made. You know, she got one of those lovely wheels. You spin the wheel. She physically has a wheel. Mm-hmm. It's not like on your app. She physically has a wheel, which is so beautiful.
I'm sorry, I'm not advanced enough to have a physical will. I haven't played Life in a long time.
Well, yes, but it's not the Life wheel, that little spinner in the middle. It's like a big old, like, Wheel of Fortune, you know.
Wheel of Fortune, Price is Right.
Wheel of Fortune, Price is Right. Well, yeah, Wheel of Fortune is the bigger wheel. And then Price is Right is the one that you spin and you try to get it to be the closest to the dollar. That I know too much about daytime game shows. I'm going to leave it be. Anyway, we are going.
Right, basically everybody just like pushing it up and it pulls it up. It pulls them up with it, and then they try to yank it down.
We are going to try to create a modern sequel. We're not going to go the remake route, but I will go the route of saying who, if you were going to make a remake, before we talk about the sequel. And this is my brain going, get to the point, Chris. Come on, you're just mumbling. This is the point where I say, who would you currently put in the roles of the main characters in Ruthless People?
I couldn't.
So you have to have a Sam Stone and a Barbara Stone. And then, of course, you have to...
I can't think of anybody replacing Danny DeVito and Bette Midler.
Ken and Sandy, and you have to... We're just doing 6 characters, so we have to have an Earl, we have to have a Ken, Barbara, Sam, and Sandy, of course, who is Helen Slater.
And Carol.
Carol, yes. Right, I forgot to mention Carol. Carol is so forgettable. She's not forgettable, but you know what I mean. Who would you put in those places? Ruthless People. Now, I can tell you who I would love to put in the Judge Reinhold spot to see if he could do the beautifully naive thing that Judge Reinhold pulled off. But he's not a guy that does naive. So I would want him to study lots and lots of old Judge Reinhold movies. I would only hire him just to tell him, you have this role. If you can play it exactly like Judge Reinhold, you have to come up with those same mannerisms and try to be as goofy and naive, pulling everything off. Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh, God. You probably could do it.
I would do I would not do Benedict Cumberbatch, but I would put Benedict Cumberbatch in that role. Yeah? Benedict Cucumberpatch? Okay.
Benedict, come on, snatch.
So I've got one. I'm putting Benedict Cumberbatch in the role of Ken. Who?
Sandra Bullock as Barbara.
Sandra Bullock as Barbara. I could see that. I could see Sandra Bullock as Barbara. The only other person I think that could pull off, but she's a little older now. I would have said, oh, good Lord. Why can't I remember her name? Carrie Bradshaw from Sex and the City. Sarah
Jessica Parker?
Sarah Jessica Parker. I kept wanting to say Sarah Paul, but that's somebody I literally know from high school.
It's like, I just don't know if Sarah Jessica Parker could pull off a Barbara.
Oh, are you kidding me? Have you ever seen her in a movie where she has a breakdown, like a fucking snap? There's a couple movies where she just snaps and has a mental breakdown at somebody. And if she could do that, like a high energy angry the entire movie, I think she could pull it off. But I think you're probably right. Sandra Bullock would do a better high energy angry because she's done it so many more times. Even trying to be the girl next door, she has done angry. The Proposal, you were saying.
Yeah, she's done, it's like The Proposal, Miss Congeniality.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be angry if I had originally looked like a frumpy FBI officer and told, by the way, we're going to shave, pluck, and basically Brazilian everything you've got going on here. And oh.
Who knows how many years of like cooch weeds they pull out.
Okay, so I got to pick the perfect slime ball to put across from your Sandra Bullock. I'm trying to think of a really good slime ball to put across, or somebody that I could make a slime ball that isn't necessarily ever a slime ball. That's the best part, is when you take somebody and make them play against type. Because, I mean, there's a lot of movies where you play against type, or they did it early on in their career and then never touch on it again. You look back and you go, wow, that was a fantastic role. What happened to you? You know? But you know who I would want? I would want to play. Oh, go ahead.
Who? No, go ahead. You go.
Oh no, we're doing it with Sandra Bullock though, because he's too old for that. Never mind. Because if it's supposed to be her husband, unless we're doing a May-December romance kind of thing, I don't think Tom Hanks would fit into that.
Well, I mean, I was gonna put Anne Hathaway as Sandy Kessler.
Anne Hathaway as Sandy, like the utterly naive one.
Well, I mean, look at her back in her like Princess Diaries days. She can do meek and awkward.
I was thinking Emily Osment.
Okay, yes. I do love me some Emily Osment. She is amazing.
I think that everything that I've seen her in, she plays that perfectly kind of cutesy, naive character, and I think that she could take it up in a big role. I really do.
I agree. Like, I saw her in Hannah Montana. I saw her in Young and Hungry. I saw her in Cyberbully.
But if we do Emily Osment, I would want to put her across from somebody that's a little bit more her age. So I'm thinking...
You wouldn't have to, though.
Okay, well, can I switch up my character? Paul Dano.
Who?
Paul Dano. Oh, come on. You don't know who Paul Dano is? Have you seen the new movie for the Batman?
No.
No, you haven't seen. Okay, he plays the Riddler. Look him up. What are you sitting here? You're just sitting back, relaxing. Look up the face. You'll recognize him so that you can get on the same page as me. Because it's a toss-up between Paul Dano.
The same page when I have to ask who?
Who in the high holy fuck are you talking about? Yes. You got really close and I could hear you.
Who the fuck is this person?
You've never seen him before? You've never seen Paul Dano before?
He's got a he's got a face that can match Judge Reinhold's because it ain't attractive.
Right, because I'm going either Paul Dano or I would say to play that kind of timid, naive character, Daniel Radcliffe would probably be good. What do you think?
Now I'm just thinking about Guns Akimbo.
Guns Akimbo. So Daniel Radcliffe would be good, or even Elijah Wood.
I mean, if you were talking about age, we probably need to go either this person, I don't know who it is, or Daniel Radcliffe.
Okay, so let's stick with...
We're talking about Emily Osment.
Seeing as you can actually mentally picture Daniel Radcliffe's acting style, let's stick him in there because you're still in the mode of, I'm going to have you sit down and watch some Paul Dano movies with me. Trust me, you'll like them. And don't worry if I make you
Batman because of Robert Pattinson.
Look, he doesn't sparkle. He doesn't sparkle the entire movie, even when he steps into the streetlights.
This fucking streetlights, oh my god.
He actually did a pretty good job as the Batman. He did. I went into the movie going, I'm about to watch fucking Edward Cullen try to be Batman. And it was only because of the Batman that I gave the rest of his acting catalog a chance. Because he did a good job. I'm not saying he's the best Batman. He is not the fucking best Batman.
I liked Ben Affleck as Batman. I thought Ben Affleck did a good job.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, right now in my brain, it goes Keaton, then Kilmer, then I would say Affleck, and then I would put him just above George Clooney because I fucking hated George Clooney as fucking Batman.
What about Christian Slater?
Christian Slater. When did he play Batman?
Didn't he play him in the Dark Knight series?
Christian Bale?
Yeah, that guy.
Christian Slater's a different guy. I'm now trying to picture fucking Christian Bale in the Dark Knight. Christian Slater, sorry.
I'm recasting the wrong movie.
Christian Slater is the guy that has made an entire career out of sounding like a blonde, younger Jack Nicholson. And he's a pretty good actor in his own right, but no. I don't think he would ever step into he might step into maybe the Joker, possibly. But definitely not Batman. No. Okay, so who have we got here? Who have we got cast?
We've got we got Sandy Kessler with Emily Osment.
Okay.
Ken Kessler with Daniel Radcliffe.
Okay.
Barbara Stone with Sandra Bullock.
Yep.
Now we need a Sam Stone and we need a Earl.
I did a Sam Stone. Didn't I cast a Sam Stone? Like I said, the perfect slime ball.
You were thinking about it, and then I said Sandra Bullock, and you were like, we need somebody more age appropriate.
Yeah, because at first I was thinking Tom Hanks because I want him to play a slime ball against type. But if we're going Sandra Bullock, we could also go against type because if we want somebody just comedically slimy, let's take Jim Carrey and put him in that role. Across from Sandra Bullock, playing the slime ball that wants to kill his wife.
Oh my god.
Don't you think that he could generate that energy?
Yeah.
I would put across from Sandy Bullock, we've got Jim Carrey. That would be pretty fun. It's either that or I would say Will Ferrell playing the slime ball.
I'll go Jim Carrey because like I can picture them like that ending dock scene between the two.
Right.
Like it would be an epic word off battle between the two.
Okay, so the last two people we have to get Carol and we have to do Earl. So we have to find somebody that's just kind of along for the ride dunce. As a remake.
I'm trying to think about somebody who could play Carol.
Okay, well, I mean, so it would be somebody that Jim Carrey is having a love affair with. And she is trying to figure out, because she knows that he's about to kill somebody. Because he's talking about trying to kill his wife, and she's trying to catch him with probably one of the worst private investigators on the face of the fucking planet. Go, take video of them. But it was porn, you know? It's murder porn. It's a snuff film. Oh my God. You know, I don't know.
The way you said it, but it's porn.
So who would play? You know who would do good across as Carol? Rachel Lee Cook.
Mm-mm.
No, you don't think so?
Mm-mm. She's got this look that's just way too innocent.
Okay, so let's. Oh God, what is her name? I was picturing somebody else. I remember that. Well, that's perfect though. I mean, if you really think about it, somebody who's trying to play, and I guess she couldn't do seductive, which is kind of what that woman was supposed to be. So you'd have to have somebody.
Carol is also manipulative.
What about Mila Kunis? Yeah, you're thinking.
I think she's a little too young for the role.
No. Because
to be in a relationship, to be in a thing with Jim Carrey.
So here's my thought. He's a slime ball. We take that slime ball thing up to the next level. He's like he wants to basically kill his wife and run away with the younger girl. So she realizes he's trying to kill his wife, and she's trying to get her boyfriend, played by whoever, we haven't figured that out yet,
Yeah, Mila Kunis could do that.
There you go. I'm taking my Paul Dano back. Thank you. I'm going to slip Paul Dano into the boyfriend role. So he is the naive dunce guy. It's either that or I would put Ryan Gosling in that role because he did great as Ken.
Nah, you can have your Dano Mel, whatever his name is.
Paul Dano? Well, you're like, you can.
Danimal.
You can have that Paul Dano because we'd have to have him play sort of the. Oh, no, I know who we do. Have you ever seen a movie called Who Do We Do? We Do Do. We do do do. No. Have you ever seen a movie called Idle Hands?
No, I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
Final Destination, the original one.
Who's the actor? Is it Devon Sawa?
Devon Sawa, yes. That's who I'm thinking.
I was like, you could have said Then and Now, Casper.
Fine. Those are the two movies that first came into my head. Because it's the most recent movies that I've seen with him in it.
Well, it's like you had, it's whatever, the Final Destination one, like their first one. I was like, wait, that could have been Kurt Smith or Devon Sawa, but you probably think about Devon Sawa.
Devon Sawa, yes.
Or Sean William Scott, because I forgot he was in the first Final Destination movie too.
Because Devon Sawa could definitely do that kind of checked out character. You know what I mean? That's what my head thought. But if you want to go even further into completely and utterly checked out, let's go ahead and give it to Jason Mewes for no reason.
Who's that?
Jason Mewes? Did you just say who's that?
Yes.
Jay from Jay and Silent Bob?
I didn't watch those.
I got bored. You may not have watched those. Don't ever. Yeah. Did you just say bored?
Yes.
I'm gonna bite you. I am going to dive through this fucking computer and bite you. I will shimmy my ass down the fucking electronic highway here. I will go through the lines. I am going to fucking bite you. Oh my God. Bored. Kevin Smith. Well, okay. Not the first Kevin Smith movie was not for everyone. That Clerks movie.
Those movies are not for everyone. It's like you either appreciate that type of humor, which my younger self did not. I could probably appreciate it now.
Okay. Well,
there's a lot of things that my younger self, when they made references to stuff, I knew nothing about. But as an older adult who has watched a lot more.
When you get snaked into having to rewatch all of these films for the upcoming Kevin Smith month, that's a lot of movies to try to ingest too. So, good luck.
We got a lot of months of me ingesting a lot of movies that I have never seen.
Yes. There's going to be a lot of films to watch. I shall show you such wonderful sights.
Season 6 is going to be off the wall.
So we have our cast for a potential remake. For now that we've cast the entire film, fuck it. Let's go talk about a sequel. We don't want to talk.
Oh, we cast, but we're not recasting the sequel.
We're not recasting the sequel. So the whole point of the sequel is that now Helen Slater playing Sandy, and we have Judge Reinhold as Ken. They have made it big. Basically, she's gone on to be this world-famous fashion designer, and Danny DeVito is this aging grandpa down and out in some shack somewhere, plotting his revenge against the two of them. When he finally realizes the person that I'm fucking doing the whole thing without you. I'm sorry.
Well, let's say he knows that Barbara's alive.
He knows that Barbara's alive, but he does not
He
realize.
just doesn't know that she's her partner.
I think that movie, but by the way, the first movie would have been better if he didn't know that she was still alive. I think that it would have been funny to have her go off into the sunset with the two of them.
Yeah.
And you could have left it open for a sequel, too.
Yeah.
So.
It's like them becoming partners, and then it's like him watching it or something, and then he sees her come out on stage, like as their benefactor type person.
I feel like he marries some woman who is far more overbearing than Barbara ever was.
Ooh, I have a point, though.
Okay, go ahead.
She kind of had to make it known that she was alive, because even in the movie when he's trying to get her money, he could not get her money unless she was dead.
Right.
So if no one knew she was alive, he could have got her money.
That's true.
So
that's true.
That was the reason for the plot that she revealed herself.
I feel like she's the one basically not bankrolling their empire. She's the one that got them started, and they share in the profits. Like, she's the businesswoman. She was the face of their fashions for so long. You know, something to that nature. You know what? And since we're a sequel, it's supposed to be funny. Sandy is still making those 80s fashion, and somehow it's still big in 2024. Right. Like, she's like the person. It's a retro thing. Like, I want to say Sandy fell off for a little while. There's a whole thing where basically they're still wealthy, but like the money was starting to run out, and then she brought the 80s fashion back, and so that's another boom. Like, she brought the 80s fashion back in the 2000s. I want to say Bill Pullman has opened up his own dunce investigation agency. Like, and every single person, not investigation agency. I want to say he is a private investigator up front, but he is a killer for hire behind the scenes. The accidental hitman. Like, he has like a tally of like several hundred, but like as we're going through the film and he's talking about all these people that he's killed, right? We go to like almost like Family Guy snap away like montages where you see, or like scenes where you see him try to kill somebody and then you see what actually killed them, you know? Yes. So he's like, I'm talking about this person who I shot in the head, and what he did was he shot at somebody, but it like ricocheted off of something, and a piece of metal from that item is actually what killed the person, or whatever. They were standing by a shelf. He accidentally shot the screw out of the shelf, and the shit came down and tumbled on them. Yeah, something to that nature, you know. He thought he poisoned somebody, but they went to go throw it up. And then when they went to gargle something, it turns out there was something in the cup that, you know, oh no, hydrochloric acid. I don't know, something weird. He thought he poisoned them. Turns out they were just allergic. I got to think that out a little better. It could be a good running gag throughout the entire thing, though. I can't be on the spot trying to think it up. He goes to poison somebody. They don't even touch what he's poisoned, but they ate something else, and turns out they were just allergic. And I felt like a shock. Right. Peanut flavored toothpaste. I'm allergic to peanuts. Who bought this? I thought you'd like it. You know that kill me. Okay. They accidentally killed themselves. Or the one guy that he pulls the gun on, he's like, I'm here to murder you. Your wife hired me to kill you. And he's like, let me do it for you. And he just wrestles the gun away from him and kills himself or something, you know. Because he's just tired. He's done. He's just done with life. He's like, I was going to do this later on today anyway. Have you met my wife? But I want to say, like, everybody... Barbara Stone. Everybody that surrounds him is equally, like, stupid. So, like, he has, like, a team of, like, investigators / killers for hire that are also equally as stupid and also bumble into their own kills. Right? Like, the kind of people that would, like, trip over something and the gun accidentally goes off and kills the person. He's like, I meant to do that. Carol is already dead. Like, she went off, married a rich man, and passed away. Right. So Carol is no longer with them, but he has a picture on his desk of her at all times. But it's the picture from back in the 80s. He's always stayed in love with her. He's always been in love with her. Yeah, because he's always been in love with her, and that never stopped. It's so dumb that it's the Carol Investigations Agency or something to that nature. Like, he named his agency after her. Carol's Investigations. And they're like, are you Carol? No. Who's Carol? Oh, this girl that I dated back in the 80s. And you named the place after her? Yeah, like, were you guys together for a long time? No, she broke up with me shortly after I showed her porn that I thought was murder. You know, there was a whole thing. You'd have to watch the movie to understand.
All right. So Sam Stone sees that, Sandy and Ken are back in the forefront because she's brought her 80s fashion back into today and is successful. And Barbara comes out on the catwalk after everybody's already done all this, like, the show stuff, sees how successful it is, and that's when he's trying to he wants to get his money back. He
snaps. Like, he wants to have her killed.
It could be one of those things like, his business went down and he's now living in maybe a camper that, like Earl was living in type thing. And he snaps because he wants it all back.
He owns like this shitty little shop called like Sam Stone's Used Fashions or something to that nature. And like
he now runs a thrift shop.
90% of the inventory are the spandex skirts from the 80s that he could never sell. Like the spandex mini skirts.
And he's got posters from when he was the spandex mini skirt king.
Right. Like the entire thing, it's all predicated on him, being this guy back in the 80s that he no longer is. Right. And he doesn't find out about them getting back on the map, bringing back 80s fashion as a thing until people start actually coming in and buying these skirts that he has like marked off, like, 99% off or something comical like that because nobody was fucking buying them. And all of a sudden people are coming in buying them left and right. It's like, what the fuck? Why are people buying these things all of a sudden? And it's like, haven't you heard? The Kesslers are back. Sandy Kessler made a whole new line of 80s fashion that's amazing. We need these skirts. And so now he's marking them up 100%. But he's using the money to try to raise the funds to hire the dunce from he knows basically he's looking for a killer for hire. He's basically trying to now raise the funds to hire somebody to go and murder his ex-wife.
That's what I was like, that was my idea. Him hiring Earl because he heard through the grapevine that the investigation thing is just a front.
I don't think he hires Earl though. I want to say he hires Owen Wilson. Like Owen Wilson, he does the murder for hire thing, but he first meets up with Owen Wilson. Owen Wilson is the intermediary that Bill Pullman sends out to meet up with the client. He wants to make sure the client is legit and isn't a cop first. So what he does with these other idiots is he always sends somebody else out. He's just gotten smart enough now to know that if he sends somebody else out and they get caught, he can just sever all ties with them. Okay, they're gone. We're done. Next one,
So the dunce became smart somehow?
Not smart so much. He's still sort of an idiot, but he's smart enough. He's smart enough to not get caught by the cops. He's still fucking stupid. He still bumbles into all of his kills and all those other things. Mind you, this is a guy. Also, not only is he a killer for hire, but every time he kills somebody, he gets violently ill. Just I'm never going to get used to that. Then why do you do this as a business? Makes the money.
It's like every time Stan sees Wendy.
But I think Owen Wilson would make the perfect kind of ditzy intermediary.
Wow.
You want to kill your wife? Wow. Which is close to me mooing like a cow. I don't do an Owen Wilson, sorry.
Wow, you want to kill your ex-wife?
I think he would make it... Like, see, I'm just picturing, like, old SNL alum as fucking the dunces in the room. Like, you got, like, Ben Stiller and... Well, Ben Stiller's not SNL alum. But, like, Rob Schneider would be funny as one of the dunce, like, killers for hire.
Adam
Sandler? Yeah.
Wasn't he an SNL guy?
Yeah, he was an SNL guy. We could have Adam Sandler, Dana Carey.
Also Chevy Chase?
Chevy Chase. Danny Carey would be fun.
I honestly don't know who that is.
You don't know who you're not Garth from Wayne's World?
Okay, never mind. I know who he is.
Or if you...
Wait. Okay, never mind. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Master of Disguise guy.
Master of Disguise. Am I not turtly enough for the Turtle Club? Turtle.
I actually think he's a good actor.
He's amazing. He's fallen off. I don't know what he's doing anymore, but he was fucking funny as hell. It's just his brand of comedy, like that slapstick comedy. Not a lot of people really want it anymore, I've noticed. Like, you've got to have some kind of intelligence behind it, which is weird because I don't know.
It's kind of like it's like the Mike Myers stuff. Like a lot of his stuff fell off. Now it's more like if he puts out a Shrek movie, it's great.
Right? It's like, fuck you. I just want to laugh.
Like,
Slap yourself around if you have to, but I want to laugh. That's all I want. Do something silly, goofy. Get me out of my own head for a little while. The world sucks. Let's fucking laugh at it.
World sucks, massive fluffy donkey dick.
There's some movies that I have watched lately, mostly because of my own problems. It's a problem. It's a problem. We got another movie we're going to review soon that's one of those problems I caused.
Well, there's a series I've been watching over and over, a mini series.
Yeah.
Just to escape my own issues, which I hope we review.
Okay, well, we can talk about that a little later. We don't give away anything. We'll figure it out.
I haven't said anything.
Okay. So, he is going to hire Bill Pullman's company. He does not realize that he is hiring them because he meets up with Owen Wilson first. And then Owen Wilson basically does puts the bag over his head, which he can completely fucking see through because it's like more nylon than anything else. So he can completely see through the bag and see what's going on. And he's like driving around and he's got the GPS on that's announcing where they're going. Have you ever put on GPS and it announces every turn you're making? Please turn here at this area, blah, blah, blah. So the GPS is telling him where they're going. And he's just like, is this guy a fucking idiot? What are you doing? So he's trying to bring him to meet up with Bill Pullman the entire time. And at one point he he's got the GPS going. He knows where he's supposed to be going, but he still somehow fucking gets lost. And the thing keeps going rerouting, and he keeps taking all the wrong turns. He gets lost in the middle of the nowhere, even though he has GPS telling him where to go.
Yeah.
I don't believe you. I don't think that's the right turn, Siri.
Oh my God, that sounds like my stepmom. We were going somewhere and she's like, don't turn here. Don't turn. I was like, but she's telling me to turn here. It's like, well, don't listen to her. I was like, then why do we have her turned on?
Did I tell you about the day that Siri tried to murder me?
No.
Siri tried to kill me. So I'm trying to take some route to somewhere. I don't even remember where I was going. I just remembered what the fuck happened to me. I think I was trying to get home. And so I'm following Siri's directions and I pull up to this intersection where it says take a left. All right. So it's dark and I don't see exactly what I'm doing. So I take a left on this 2-lane road that I think is a 2-lane road and it's not. So I'm going left down the roadway and I see headlights coming at me. This is when my brain checks in at 11 o'clock at night and I realize that Siri made me take a left on what was basically a 4-lane road, 2 lanes going, east and 2 lanes going west. But the reason I didn't see the other 2 lanes initially is because it was a thick median strip and there was no way to turn left there. And there was no signage to tell me don't turn left because I'm thinking there's no idiot is going to see that median strip and think that they can go anywhere. We don't need to put up a sign, right? So Siri told me to take a left. I got cars coming at me. Next thing I know, I got my kids and Candy sitting next to me screaming their heads off and we got to pull off the road to keep from getting hit. I'm like, okay, Siri, you tried to murder me. Fuck you. You're getting turned off for the next couple weeks. I don't trust your instructions.
That's why I don't have an iPhone.
Right. That's why you don't have an iPhone. Sure.
That's one reason.
Yeah. It was the iPhone map system. You are right. But what the fuck?
I've had we had my stepmom's Siri, her iPhone telling us where to go. I was like, all right, turn her off. I was like, I'm going to turn mine on. And I did. Mine got us where we needed to go, pinpoint, no problem. I have an Android, a Google Pixel 6.
I only ever use GPS instructions up until the point that I don't know where I am. I need it to tell me where I'm supposed to go in some instances, but it's okay, we're going to Boston. I know how to get to Boston. Where in Boston are we going? Okay, I'll figure that out once I get to the line of Boston.
You're going to Boston?
Boston.
Gonna get some hot sauce on a hot dog.
I'm gonna go park that car in Harvard Yard.
Make sure you turn your lights off and your radio on.
Somehow we forget to say the R's in a lot of things here. The Bostonian accent. Car.
But I hear your R's just fine. But then again, you did live down here.
Well, mind you, I lived in Georgia. I grew up with a guy that had a lot of transplants. All of his relatives were from Mississippi. And if I'm entirely honest, I never lived in an area with, I guess, I want to say a slurred dialect, like where things start to get missed. And sometimes I overpronunciate things, and sometimes I can't pronounce fucking things at all. But that's just because my education, I didn't give myself one. I didn't allow myself an education. I was a 10th grade dropout.
Bless your heart.
I went back and got my GED. I've got a little bit of a college education, but like I was seriously like, fuck it. These people, I just can't deal with it. I was the guy that was like, I can't deal with the teachers, so I'm going to go and I'm going to like sneak out of school and I'm going to take a bunch of books and I'm just going to go sit downtown and just read.
You were like, fuck it.
I'm book smart, but I'm not schooling smart. I like my books a lot better than I likes them teachers. Them teachers, they dumb as fuck, you know.
Wow, you made us all sound like Hicks.
I wasn't talking about Georgia. This is up here I'm talking about.
Jesus.
So I've gotten completely off the subject of Sam Stone trying to kill his wife now. But I went from a standard high school, which I couldn't deal with the teachers, right? Mm-hmm. Specifically one that haunted me all the time. There were two, actually. And one was a science teacher, the other one was an English teacher, and I fucking hated them. So I was like, I'm going to do everything that I can to not be in this school anymore. And I ended up in an agricultural school. Okay. Yes, I went to an agricultural high school. So 50% of your day is doing your basic history, math, English, you know, all that stuff. And then the other 50% of your day is learning a trade. So basically you are either being taught farming skills or you're taught to tend to large animals, livestock, or you went the other way and you learned to plant trees and do arboriculture and ornamental horticulture. You could basically get the basic skills to raise an orchard, or fucking, if you wanted to do floral arrangements for the rest of your life, that's what you could do. And this place also bored the fuck out of me because my head was just like, I love animals, don't get me wrong, but the idea of going to school for 50% of my day every day to clean up after shit is just not something I could do. I just couldn't.
Yeah, I could see that.
And so I went into the plant sciences there. And that bored the fuck out of me. And I think I checked out around the time that they gave us a project. And the project was basically go out and find as many different leaves as possible and fill a photo album with dried leaves and an explanation of which leaf you found, identify the leaf, put down its scientific name, basically the Latin name for it. Because, you know, every animal, every plant, everything has a Latin name, apparently.
The genus and species.
Yeah. So that was the whole project. That was the thing that you got graded on. And I'm like, you want me to go... It was simple, but it was so mind-numbingly stupid that I was just like, fuck this. I am so done. And so at this point, I already had a car. And so I would, like, part way through the day, they're like, okay, well, I went through my history, my English, my math, all that fucking stuff. Time to switch over classes. No, fuck that. Time to get in my car and go to the mall, you know, or go do this or go do that. And, like, I would have friends leave with me every day, you know. Let's go. Time to leave. So, yeah, it was fun. So let's get back.
Sam Stone killing his wife.
Sam Stone killing his wife. So killing his ex-wife. Yeah, no longer married. No longer married. She has divorced his ass, taken him for everything he's worth, and left him with nothing but the skirts on his back.
The skirt around his waist.
Like I still think that we need to have a scene with Sam Stone just being really depressed, like Al Bundy style, just with a beer in his slovenly apartment, really depressed, wearing a spandex miniskirt with his hand down the front and just drinking a beer, watching TV. Who doesn't like a little bit of a Al Bundy throwback kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, but who needs to see him like legs spread in a miniskirt? A spandex miniskirt.
Everybody that has ever loved Danny DeVito and his slime ball roles needs to see him in a spandex miniskirt. Come on.
Not in an Al Bundy way, though.
He is depressed. He is like, I am the spandex miniskirt king. Fuck you. And he is so depressed, he can't even afford pants, so he wears miniskirts. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
No.
Oh, God. I'm gonna need him to date a drag queen so he can at least get a little more of a wardrobe.
I want to say like he will do these things where he's so pissed off at Barbara, like he has like a picture of her, and he'll just be wearing the skirt, just cussing at her or whatever. Just can't fucking believe you fucking sold me down the river. She's I should have killed you earlier, just.
I should have killed you when I had the chance.
Should have killed you when I had the chance. I had the chloroform, and he did. He could have.
He did.
I really think like
Did you know that chloroform doesn't actually work the way it does in movies?
No, I know.
Like it takes longer, and your knockout period is not that long.
Well, it only needs to be long enough for him to throw her off a cliff. Doesn't that the original?
I was just talking about like the way that chloroformed victims, like how they're portrayed in movies. Is like I looked it up. It's like it doesn't. It takes a little longer for them to pass out, and also it's like the knockout period is not that long.
Doing some research, are you?
I actually did this research a while back when I was watching Charmed.
Okay, so you did like
there was a point where Prue was chloroformed by somebody that they had put in jail, and he broke out, and like I was like, what is the actual like? How long would it take for somebody to actually pass out from chloroform, and then how long would they be passed out from it?
I have no idea. I've never looked it up.
Just to make stories feasible.
What would it take to chloroform somebody into a coma? Just breathe this in.
Damn, that's a long ass nap.
We're gonna just make. We're gonna put a ski mask just covered in chloroform on your head.
When we want you to wake up, we'll get the smelling salts.
Yes, we'll pull this off of your head and let you breathe in a minute. But for right now, just inhale. Okay. So he has hired this idiotic agency to go after his wife. And I feel like these guys go from bumbling into their own kills to bumbling into accidentally killing themselves while trying to kill these people. He wants to kill all three.
I want to say that, like, the way that they end up dead, not our main people because we love them.
Right.
But it's kind of like the serial killer from the first movie. Like, he falls down the stairs trying to kill one of them.
Right.
Because you look like my father. I hated my father. Goes after Judge and then falls down the stairs dead.
Yeah. I think that should be...
That's how they end up, like, when they go after Bet, when they go after, Helen or Judge. It's like, that's how they act. Like, it's an accident that kills them too.
You know who would make a really good... I want to say he is the most complete dunce in the film. And I want to say why I call him the most complete dunce is because he is the one that you never quite see how stupid he is because he covers it so well. So he's kind of suave, but he's also stupid at the same time.
Who?
Jeff Goldblum.
The funny thing is I can see it.
Like, he is absolutely smooth, but he is absolutely the stupidest one of all of them.
Of course, he's got to be that smooth guy that's always wearing the leather jacket guy.
Right, he's got the leather jacket, and he's got the glasses, and,
Yeah.
I want to say, like, oh, I know how he gets killed, too. So he's got glasses, the glasses that tint whenever, like, there's sunlight, and they flash him in the eyes, and they immediately tint themselves to a really dark black, and he can't see where he's going, and he ends up killing himself.
How?
Tripping down the stairs, like the original movie.
All right, so how does Owen Wilson kill himself?
Owen Wilson, I like the idea that we came off with earlier, right?
How do they kill themselves, and who are they going after when they kill themselves?
Okay.
Because we need to put each one of them like in a self-defense type of thing.
Owen Willing Bureau. Owen Wilson corners Ken Kessler in a closet where all these fashions are, and he goes to shoot Ken, and what happens is he accidentally somehow, like, Ken steps out of the way just enough for it to hit one of the brackets on the wall that's holding up a shelving system, which brings all sorts of dresses down on top of Ken. Doesn't kill Ken, but the screw that he hit somehow ricochets back and gets him dead in the eye. And I want to say it's a whole thing. It's a whole scene where he gets it in the eye and he's flipping out, trying to figure out, oh God, well, I can't see. I've been blinded. He's still got one eye, mind you, the entire time. It's like, I can't see.
Is this Owen Wilson going after him?
Oh wow, this hurts. Oh my God. Just what the fuck?
That's it, because we have to have Bill Pullman going after Bette Midler.
And every time, Bill Pullman has to go after Bette Midler. Yeah. I agree. But I think like Owen Wilson, like every time he shoots something, like he trying to shoot at, I would say Judge Reinhold, but it's not Judge Reinhold in this particular instance.
It's Ken.
No, it is Judge Reinhold. You're right. Never mind. It is Judge Reinhold. Yeah. So every time Judge Reinhold ducks a shot or gets out of the way of a shot, something else ricochets back and hits him. So at some point, he looks like some guy that just got a massive amount of piercings in his face. Like he's got just stuff sticking out of everywhere. Something always ricochets back and hits him in the face from every shot that he takes. He even goes so far as to take the time to reload the gun.
I will change something.
Go ahead.
Bill Pullman does not have to go after Bette Midler. Maybe for Helen Slater's character Sandy, it could be Jeff Goldblum trying to seduce her to get her alone to kill her.
Right.
And he falls down the stairs somehow. Like he goes in for a kiss or something, and she moves out of the way. He goes down the stairs dead.
I was actually thinking of something even better.
Because he's that suave guy.
I was thinking of something even better. Because we're talking about him being the suave guy. What if he is the suave guy that kind of kidnaps her and he's threatening to kill her for money to Ken? So basically she gets kidnapped and he sits down and he like decides that he's gonna kill her either way because that's what he's getting paid for. But he's also trying to run his own side game to get a little extra money. And what he does is he's getting ready to kill her and he slips a little poison into like a glass of wine that he's trying to give her. And he doesn't even try to mix them around. Somebody will like go, he picks up the poison with the right hand and does it with the left hand. And he just kind of sits there looking at the glasses for a minute. Damn it. Oh, no, right. This is the right one. He gives her the glass that he thought and it's always been in the left hand the entire time. Like he's even marked it so he knows which one has the poison in it. And he still has the one that he marked because it skips his mind. Like maybe I marked that to say this is the one that I should drink, and and he ends up drinking the poison. Oh, fuck. There goes the day.
Because I was thinking, Bill Pullman doesn't have to go after Bette Midler. These three fail.
Right.
Bill Pullman, maybe he also goes after Judge. Well, Earl goes after Ken. We need to see these three fail. Sam Stone wants to go ahead and do it his own self, so he goes after Barbara.
Okay. So Sam was like, no, I should have done this myself a long time ago. Right?
Mm-hmm. So it's like a showdown between Barbara and Sam.
But he's like out of shape. And so like half of it's just like, okay.
Well, let's also not forget she's also older now.
So she's older and he's trying to kill her and he's also older. And so it's half chase. And they're trying to he's trying to go after her to kill her and they keep having to stop every couple of minutes to catch their breath.
It's like he's out of breath because she's sidestepping him and yelling. She's out of breath because of all her yelling.
Right. She's out of breath from the yelling and sidestepping from him, and he's out of breath running after her and yelling after her. And they're always stopping where she's just far enough away that he can't do what he needs to do.
And you know what? The funny thing is, she doesn't do anything to kill him. He's so angry. He's so built up. He has a heart attack.
He has a heart attack, but she saves him at the last minute.
Yeah.
But she doesn't save him because she loves him or cares about him or anything. She knows how miserable he is.
Alive, watching her succeed.
Something happened when he had the heart attack, and he is bound to a wheelchair for the rest of his life. But she saved him because she knew that he was going to be bound to a wheelchair for the rest of his life, miserable.
Even more better. She makes sure that she's a primary caregiver too.
She has an old medical form. What the ones that basically power of attorney medical form?
The power of attorney. Yeah.
That he had signed, and she's like, "Yeah, this says I'm his medical power of attorney. I have permission to basically choose whether or not he lives or dies, or whether we pull the plug. And she's like, you got to save him, but she's yes, but if you mean it's a quality of life issue. We can keep him on the respirators and this, that, and the other thing, but he's going to be bedridden for the rest of his life. He will be conscious, but he's not going to be able to do anything. And she's like,
And like the doctors walk away, you see her with a paper, she turns around, perfect.
Yes. I guess you shouldn't have tried to kill me.
It's like the credit scenes, it's like you see these little squares pop up beside the credits and everything. It's just her berating him every chance she gets. It's like they pop up in different parts of the credits.
Worthless, spineless son of a bitch. They made me say that,
Oh my goodness.
Oh, geez. Yeah, I could see that. She got to come up with some really classic ones, though, because there's some pretty good ones from the first one that she was just blurting out.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
I won't lie. That's the first time I ever heard her drop an F-bomb. I was like, I forgot she dropped an F-bomb in here.
I mean, she used to curse back in the 80s. There were some movies that were, like, definitely on the rated R scale.
I have not, like, as much as I love her, there's a lot of movies I have not seen.
Wasn't she in, like...
Because I've seen clips on them when she posted them.
Wasn't she in, like, Down and Out in Beverly Hills?
Gypsy. She might have been. Like, I've never seen Gypsy.
No?
No. And I think she's also an incredible singer.
Have you ever seen the movie that is, like, the bane of my existence, Beaches?
I've seen it, but it's been so long.
Okay.
I own it on Blu-ray, so I probably need to watch it again.
There was a Blu-ray of that?
Yeah. My mom got it from, may she rest in peace, from the Disney movie club, because she used to, like, we would always get Disney movies, and she'd make sure she saved those little pamphlets that were in it, and she'd put the codes in, and she'd get her Disney movies.
That depressing film
more movies were more.
That's considered a Disney movie now. That depressing film.
Yep.
Oh my god.
If it's not considered a Disney movie, I think Disney actually owns Touchstone, so I think it's a Touchstone film.
Oh good lord.
And Touchstone, and for the longest time, Touchstone was where Disney made their more adult oriented movies.
And to bring it back to this film, she wouldn't touch stone with a 10-foot pole. So,
I don't know what that was.
You were going back to the kitty laugh. Just.
I reverted.
I want to say, like, the entire movie, a lot of the movie is just them trying to survive these bumbling killers who keep bumbling into their own deaths. I want to say there's like a running gag where we have like, you have every SNL alum, like you have all these people from old like sketch comedy shows, just pictures across the wall with X's through the face, these people who accidentally killed themselves. It's like worst employee of the month.
Oh God, some of them, if anybody ever went after Barbara Stone, I could just picture her, like her rage face, making some of them jump back and something happened to them.
Fell into a piranha tank. Why do you have a piranha tank?
She yells at them and.
Why? Why is there a shark tank in your apartment? I don't understand.
Because I'm rich.
I can. Just because I can. I have an entire aquarium underneath here. Underneath? Yeah, it's down there. Like underneath the apartment? Like this is not an apartment. This is a mansion. I just happen to stay in one room all the time.
That's what they go and stand on the like. You mean like right under here, and she pushes a button, they fall in.
I'm just seeing this entire interview with Barbara Stone, just like she's talking to somebody for like MTV Cribs or something like that, because we want to do something old school, Just bring back something really old. And she's just talking to these people. She's like, I have this entire mansion. There's like 150 rooms in this mansion, and I only live in 2. I am so wealthy, I can afford this entire mansion. I don't live in any other room of this house. I only live in these 2 rooms. Well, what do you do with the rest of the house? Like, it's just there.
She's like, I don't do anything. I have them cleaned.
Right, yep. I have people to clean those rooms and dust those rooms, but I've never been in any other room in this house. I live in the living room. There's the bedroom. That's it. Well, what about the kitchen? Do you go in the kitchen? No, I don't go in the kitchen. That's what I have staff for.
They bring me my food.
They bring me all of this. Yeah, it's my food.
Then next thing you know, they keep asking the same questions. So it's like, stop asking me these pointless fucking questions.
So what do you mean you only live in 2 rooms in this house? Well, the living room is attached to the front door. So there's the front door right there, and that empties into the living room. And then my bedroom is right here, right? So I don't have to walk too far. Answer. What about the bathroom?
That's not how she would answer.
What about the bathroom? Do you ever use the bathroom?
Do you not fucking understand? end.
See, I have a bathtub or a basin in my room. It's like my employees, they give me sponge baths. There you go. Well, how do you even pee in the backyard? Just insane answers to the questions. Like, I have a 150 room house, but only live in 2 rooms. I have never been in any other room. You've never been in the bathrooms? No.
No, but I can tell you, everything is porcelain and gold.
Right.
How do you know? I've seen.
Like, I bought everything. I know what's in the rooms, but I didn't put them there. I've never been in there. All right. I've never done anything in any other room of this house.
Okay. That's when she's like, fine. When I purchased the place, I did a walkabout. And then I realized I just wanted to be here.
No. She purchased a house that was just 2 rooms. And then she had everything built off of it. She bought other parts of the community out. This used to be an entire town. This was a whole village at one point. But I bought this person's land, I bought this person's land, and I expanded my house. And then I bought this person's land, and I expanded my house. It's like the Winchester's house. You're more than welcome to go walk around. Well, would you like to give us a tour? No, I just told you I don't leave this room.
Oh, wait, you're talking about the creepy Winchester's house?
Yes. I'm talking about the creepy Winchester house.
Oh.
Like, she just kept expanding the house and expanding the house because she had the money to do it. But there was no purpose to any of the other rooms in the house because she never intended to do anything. It's just she wanted something to spend her money on.
It's like they keep asking these ridiculous questions. That's when she fires back. Why do rich people do anything? Because we can.
We can, yes, exactly. All right.
Are you too poor to buy a clue?
I think that is enough of this sequel. She owns a nice 150-room mansion, and we're going to let Barbara sleep in her kitchen. She
doesn't go in there.
She doesn't go into the kitchen. So the first time she walked in, she just fainted. Oh, my God, work! Boom! Just... She fainted in the kitchen, and that's where we're going to leave her for today.
Maybe it wasn't clean. She's like, dust!
I thought you were doing things in here. No, we just order out. Everything you've been eating is McDonald's. I don't even know how you're alive. Aren't your arteries hardened?
That's when she pulls one of those fake death scenes she did with Sandy.
Even her employees were trying to kill her. The only people she's ever friendly to are the Kesslers. Like, she's only ever friendly to the Kesslers. She's complete assholes to everybody else.
I mean, that kind of is how it ended up being.
Right. I think that's how that should go. The whole thing. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and leave our sequel there. And hopefully, hey, go ahead, Hollywood. Make that one. Do it.
Cast me.
Do it.
Cast me.
Cast you? Cast you?
Cast me.
Cast me. Don't cast me. No, don't cast me. No, I don't want to be cast. You can be one of the...
I'll play any role. I'll play one of the staff.
You
of the 150 mansion, room mansion.
Right. This is one of the staff that's trying to kill her. I swear to God, I'd fucking, if you weren't paying me.
Because she doesn't know it. Because she doesn't know that I'm in all the rooms. I live in a few of them.
Right. No, she doesn't go in any other room in the house. Little does she know that all of her staff have basically brought their families in and like these massive rooms. There's basically each one is now its own apartment. So it's like it's an entire shanty town within her mansion. Like, all right. Well, on behalf of myself and Miss B, you can Miss B. Oh my God, you're not Miss B. You're Miss Piper. What am I doing?
I am Miss Piper. I'm Miss P.
Miss P.
Oh wait, I don't want to be Miss P.
No.
I don't want to be Miss P.
Let's not have that as your nickname. We're not going to do that.
No,
we'll
I'm
come
just
up with
Piper.
another nickname at some point.
Piper.
Just Piper.
Ooh.
You can find
I can plug myself now.
Yes, you can plug yourself. Go ahead, plug yourself.
Oh, y'all can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/beautiful_Piper. Beautiful spelled BEUTIFULL_PIPER.
Is that it?
For now, yes.
I mean, they can technically find you on Instagram, so on and so forth as well.
Oh, yes. On Instagram, it's Piper D Aaron, PIPERDAARON.
They can also find you here on our podcast on most podcasting platforms, including Apple, what used to be Google, that is now YouTube something or other. Google got eaten up by YouTube. I have no idea how the fuck that happened. We're on Spotify. We're on all the little things and everything. One of my favorite apps, Good Pods. Go to Good Pods and listen to us because you can give us individual bits of feedback on each episode, or just give us a 5-star rating. So like, Give us a 5-star rating. Give us your opinion. If you fucking hate us, tell us you fucking hate us. Give us some motivation to come back and go, I don't give a fuck if you fucking hate us. We're going to still do fucking whatever we fucking want. No. Okay. And as what I was going to say, as Miss B would normally say at the end of our podcast, drink some water, you thirsty fucking bitches. Yeah? Yeah.
Yas.
Yes, queen.